Why did the court officer hand me papers at my son's school event while everyone watched? How did my little secret with his younger brother turn into a legal plan that started the same day? And why did my husband look calm, like he had already left me weeks ago? My name is Alvina Roarke, but most people call me Vina. I was 34, and I worked the front desk at a dental clinic. My job was simple: answer phones, smile, keep the schedule clean, and make people feel calm even when they were scared. I was good at it. I knew how to talk like nothing was wrong, even when everything was wrong. At home, I tried to do the same. Ethan was my husband. He was 36. He worked in an insurance office. He liked routine. He liked plans. He liked early nights and quiet mornings. He acted like life was a list he could finish. Sometimes I felt like I was one more task on his list. That is what I told myself. That morning, I stood in our kitchen and watched him pour cereal for our son, Miles. Miles was 7 and small for his age. He looked at his bowl like it was a serious problem. Leela, our toddler, sat in her chair and dropped pieces of banana on the floor like it was her job. Ethan wiped the counter in straight lines. He asked if I could pick up milk after work. I said yes, but I also said he could do it if he wanted to control every detail. He blinked and asked what I meant. I said nothing, and I smiled like I was joking. I did not like how calm he stayed. He asked if I was okay because I had been quiet all week. I said I was fine, and I said he was the one who always acted tired. He said he had been working late because the office was short-staffed. I said work was not an excuse to stop being a husband. He asked what I needed. I said I needed to feel seen. That sounded good. It made me sound deep. It made him sound guilty. Miles asked if Dad would come to his school event next week. Ethan said yes, of course. I said Ethan never missed public things because he liked looking responsible. Ethan looked at me, and he asked why I kept talking like that. I said I was just being honest. Miles stared at his cereal again. Lila started to whine, and Ethan picked her up without complaint. I could have stopped. I could have said sorry, but I felt something sharp inside me, like a small fire. I wanted a reaction. I wanted Ethan to argue, to prove he still cared. When he stayed calm, it felt like he did not care at all. After Ethan took the kids to school and daycare, I got ready for work. I checked my face in the bathroom mirror and pulled my hair into a neat clip. I looked fine. I looked like a woman with control. When I walked into the hallway, I saw Ethan's phone on the entry table. The screen lit up, and I saw a calendar reminder. It said, "Meeting, personal." The time was strange, not his usual lunch hour. It was early in the afternoon. The reminder was there for next week too. Ethan came back inside because he forgot his keys. He saw me looking. He asked if I needed something. I said no. I said his phone just lit up. He picked it up quickly, like he did not want me to see it. He said it was just a meeting. I said he did not usually label things that way. He asked why I was digging. I said I was not digging, and I said he was acting suspicious. Then I left for work. I walked to my car with my head high, like I had won. At the dental clinic, the air smelled like mint and cleaning spray. The waiting room played soft music that nobody really listened to. I put on my work smile and said good morning to everyone. Cara Mendez was already in the break room with her coffee. Cara was my friend and my co-worker. She loved gossip like it was a hobby. She asked how things were at home. I said Ethan had been moody. I said he made everything about rules. Cara rolled her eyes and said some men got worse with age. I laughed and said Ethan acted like he was 45. It felt good to laugh. It felt like power. Later, during a slow moment, I looked at my phone and saw a message from Noah Caldwell. Noah was Ethan's younger brother. He was 29. He worked with cameras and editing and small projects. He was the kind of man who noticed things. He told people they looked different. He told people they were interesting. He did not talk like life was a list. His text was simple. He asked if I was coming to Janice's dinner on Sunday. He said he missed seeing me. He added a little joke about me always being the fun one in the family. I stared at it longer than I should have. Kara walked in and asked who I was smiling at. I said it was nothing, just Ethan's brother asking about dinner. Kara raised her eyebrows and said Noah was cute. I said he was just friendly. Kara said I deserved a little attention because Ethan seemed boring. I told her to stop talking like that, but I did not sound serious. At lunch, I took my break outside, behind the clinic near the small employee parking area. The sun was cold and bright. I typed back to Noah. I said I would be there. I said the kids would come too. I added a smiley face. Then I deleted it and typed again. More normal. I sent a plain message. I told myself I was being careful, not shady. Still, my heart beat fast in a way it did not beat for Ethan anymore. That afternoon, Ethan called me. He asked if I could pick up Lila because he had to stay late again. I said yes, but I also said he always used work as an excuse. He said he was not making excuses. He said he was trying to provide. I said money was not love. He went quiet for a second, then he said he understood. He asked what time I would be home. I said I did not know, because I had a life too. When I hung up, Kara asked why I looked annoyed. I told her Ethan was trying to manage me again. Kara said I should not let him. She said I should remind him I was not lucky he married me. She said he was lucky. That line stayed in my head. He was lucky. I liked how it sounded. After work, I picked up Lila and then Miles. At home, Ethan was already there, cooking pasta like it was his normal job. He asked how my day was. I said it was fine. He said he was sorry he called so much. I said it was not about calls. He asked what it was about then. I told him he did not make me feel young. I told him he did not try. I said he treated me like a helper, not a woman. He asked what he could do differently. I said he should figure it out. I said if he really loved me, he would know. His face tightened, but he did not raise his voice. He said he was trying. He said he loved me. He said he did not want to fight in front of the kids. I said I was not fighting. I said I was stating facts. Later, when he went to help Miles with homework, my phone lit up again. Noah's name showed on the screen. It was late for him to text. The preview said he hoped I was okay. It said he hated seeing me stressed. Ethan walked into the room right then. I turned my phone over fast. He asked who texted me. I said it was Kara. I said she was being dramatic about work again. Ethan nodded, but he looked at my phone like he did not believe me. I told myself he was paranoid. I told myself he brought this on himself. I told myself I deserved someone who noticed me. And I still believed I was the reasonable one. 2 days later, I told Ethan I needed to start taking care of myself. I said I felt tired and heavy and old, and I blamed him for that too. He asked what I meant. I said he did not plan dates anymore, and he did not look at me the way he used to. He said he still looked at me. I said looking was not the same as wanting. He asked if I wanted to go out that weekend. I said it was too late to act right, only after I complained. He asked how he could win with me if every answer was wrong. I said he should have thought about that before. I went to the gym after work. I did not even like the gym, but it sounded like a good excuse. It sounded like a new version of me. Kara loved it. She told me I was glowing already, even though it had been 1 week. At the gym lobby, I pretended I was confident. I stood in line at the smoothie bar and checked my phone like I was busy. That was when Noah showed up. I told myself it was a coincidence. I told myself he probably had a membership too. He walked up behind me and asked if I came here often. I said not really, I was trying something new. He said it fit me. He said I looked different lately. He asked if Ethan was being nice to me. I should have shut it down. I could have said it was none of his business, but my chest warmed in a stupid way. I said Ethan was fine, just distracted. Noah said I deserved someone who paid attention. I said he was being dramatic. He smiled and said he was honest. We sat at a small table near the entrance, where people walked by. It still felt safe because it was public. He asked if I wanted to talk sometime, just as friends. I said friends were fine. I told myself that word meant clean. When I got home, Ethan saw my gym bag and asked how it went. I said it was great. I said I felt alive. He smiled like he was relieved. That smile annoyed me. It felt like he was happy with any version of me as long as I stayed in the house. That night, he asked if Noah had said anything at dinner last week, because Noah seemed around more. I said Noah was family, and Ethan was being weird. Ethan asked if I thought it was normal for his brother to text me late. I said I did not control who texted me. He said he was not asking for control. He said he was asking for respect. I told him respect was not a cage. He went quiet after that. The next day, Noah texted me again. He asked how my morning was. He said he was thinking about what I said at the gym. He asked if I felt trapped. I stared at the screen and felt important. I answered slowly, like I was careful. I told him I was fine, just stressed. He asked if Ethan ever listened. I said Ethan listened, but he heard only what was easy. At work, I showed Kara the messages like it was funny. Kara asked if I was flirting. I said no, it was just support. Kara laughed and said support did not sound like that. She told me not to act innocent. She said I needed to take what I deserve. I said I was not doing anything wrong. Kara said I was doing something necessary. That word, necessary, felt like a shield. A few days later, Janice hosted a family dinner. Ethan's parents had a habit of acting warm while watching everything. The table was long, and everyone spoke over each other. Miles played with his fork. Leela ate rolls and smiled at anyone who looked at her. Noah sat across from me. He asked if I liked my job. I said it was fine. He asked if I ever wanted more. I said sometimes. He told me I had more to give. Ethan heard that and asked Noah what he meant. Noah said he just meant I was smart. Ethan nodded, but his eyes stayed on Noah longer than usual. I decided I wanted to push Ethan a little. I wanted to see if he cared. I started telling a story about work and made Ethan sound clueless. I said he did not understand how hard it was to deal with people all day. Ethan asked if I was saying he did not work hard. I said I did not say that, and I asked why he always made himself the victim. Janice asked if everything was okay. I smiled and said yes. I said Ethan just got sensitive. Noah laughed softly, like he was on my side. That made me bold. After dinner, while everyone stood around the living room, I said Ethan had been acting jealous lately. I said it like a joke, like it was cute. I watched Ethan's face. He asked why I was telling people that. I said I was not telling, I was teasing. Ron, Ethan's dad, looked away like he did not want to be part of it. Janice told Ethan to help her bring plates to the kitchen. Ethan did it. He did not snap at me. He did not raise his voice. He acted polite. That should have calmed me down. Instead, it made me angry again. I wanted him to fight. On the drive home, he asked if I was trying to embarrass him in front of his parents. I said no. He embarrassed himself by being tense. He asked why I talked about jealousy when he never accused me of anything. I said he accused me with his eyes. He asked what I meant. I said he looked at me like I was a problem. He said he wanted peace. I said peace was what people asked for when they did not want to change. That week, I met Noah again after work. I told Ethan I had to pick up supplies for the clinic. I even bought a small bag of toothpaste samples so it looked real. I met Noah in a parking garage near the gym. We stayed by the stairwell because it was quiet and nobody really cared there. He asked if Ethan was still acting cold. I said yes. I said Ethan treated me like a roommate. Noah said I should not have to live like that. He said a woman like me should feel desired. I told him he was making things bigger than they were. He said I was the one making things small to survive. That line hit me. It made him sound wise. It made me feel seen. So I let myself stand closer. I let myself enjoy the attention. I kept telling myself it was not real, cheating, if it was only words and looks and small touches. I kept telling myself Ethan created this space by neglecting me. When I got home, Ethan asked if the supply run took long. I said traffic was bad. He asked why my phone location showed me near the gym. I froze for a second. Then I laughed and said he was tracking me. I asked if he installed something on my phone like a creep. He said he did not install anything. He said the phone shared location because we set it up for emergencies. I said emergencies did not include my errands. He said he was not trying to control me. He said he was confused because things did not match. I told him he should trust his wife instead of his apps. I told him he was choosing technology over marriage. He did not argue. He just nodded once, like he was filing my words somewhere. Later that night, I walked into the kitchen and saw a folder on the counter. The label said bank. It looked new and neat. Ethan closed it when he saw me. He said he was organizing bills. I said he never cared about bills before. He said he cared now. On his laptop, a spreadsheet was open, but he clicked away fast. I saw rows and columns before they disappeared. I asked what he was doing. He said he was just planning. Then his phone rang, and the call showed no caller ID. He looked at it, declined it, and put the phone face down. He noticed me watching and said it was probably spam. I told myself he was being dramatic, but my stomach tightened anyway, and I did not like that feeling at all. The weekend came fast, and I acted like nothing was happening. That was my best skill. I could make a mess and still smile like I was a good wife. On Saturday, the neighborhood had a block party. The street was closed, kids ran between chalk drawings, and someone grilled hot dogs like it was a competition. Cara showed up with her phone already in her hand. She told me I needed better pictures because my page looked tired. I said my page was fine. She said fine was not the same as winning. Ethan came with Miles and Lila. He carried the diaper bag and a folding chair. He looked like a man trying to do the right thing, and I hated how that made him look. I wanted him to look worse. I wanted people to agree with me without asking questions. Noah arrived a little later, holding a six-pack like he was the cool uncle. He greeted Ethan, but his eyes went to me first. He asked how I was doing. I said I was good and busy. He said he could tell I had been working hard. Ethan asked what Noah meant. Noah said he meant I looked strong. I could feel Ethan's attention sharpen. I told myself Ethan was jealous. I told myself that proved he still cared. So I leaned into it. I stood closer to Noah than I needed to. I laughed louder at his jokes. I let Cara take photos of us with the kids in the background so it looked innocent. Cara posted one picture right away. She tagged me and wrote something about summer energy. In the photo, Noah's hand was near my waist, not fully on me, but close. It was the kind of close that people notice when they already want a story. Ethan saw the post because people started commenting. Someone wrote that Noah looked like a better match for me. Cara replied with laughing emojis. I watched Ethan's face while he read. He did not yell. He did not snatch the phone. He just looked up and asked if I thought that was funny. I said Cara was just joking. I said people said stupid things online. He asked why I let it happen. I said he was being sensitive again. He asked if I wanted to embarrass him. I said he embarrassed himself by caring. Miles ran up and asked for juice. Ethan gave it to him and asked him to stay near the sidewalk. That calm, careful tone made Ethan look like a good father. It irritated me more than anger would have. Later at home, Ethan asked if he could speak to me in private. He asked why Noah kept texting me late and why I kept acting like it was nothing. I said Noah was family and Ethan was making the house tense. Ethan asked if I had feelings for Noah. I laughed and said Ethan was watching too many dramas. Ethan asked why I laughed instead of answering. I said because his question was insulting. He told me he felt humiliated. I said he was choosing to feel that way. He asked if I would stop. I asked him to stop what, because I wasn't doing anything. He did not argue long. He just said he needed respect in his own home. I said respect had to be earned. He asked if I really believed that. I said yes. I said respect follows results, and I had results. I went to work on Monday, like a queen. At the clinic, I told Kara about Ethan's jealous talk. Kara laughed and said I should post more. She said men only learn when they feel replaceable. I said I was not trying to punish Ethan, but inside, I knew I was. Around midday, I walked down the hallway and heard Ethan's name. 2 hygienists were talking about the block party photo. One of them said Ethan looked sad. The other said maybe he was controlling. I stepped in and acted surprised. I said Ethan was fine, just intense. I said he had always been that way. I said some men needed to feel in charge. They nodded like I gave them a complete answer. That is the thing about people. They like simple villains. I gave them one. That evening, Ethan got home later than usual. He greeted the kids, washed his hands, and started dinner without asking me about my day. That felt wrong. He used to ask. Now he moved like a man who had decided questions were pointless. After the kids ate, Miles asked if we could watch a movie together. Ethan said yes, but he asked if I wanted to join too. I said I had chores. Ethan said he could do them. I said I did not need help. I sat on the couch anyway and scrolled on my phone. Noah messaged me again. He asked if the block party caused trouble. I said Ethan was being dramatic. Noah said he did not want to hurt Ethan. I told him Ethan hurt himself by acting weak. Noah said he did not like hearing Ethan called weak. I said Ethan was not a bad person, just not enough for me sometimes. I stared at those words after I sent them. I told myself I was just being honest. I told myself honesty could not be wrong. Ethan stood up to get water, and he glanced at my phone. I tilted the screen away. He did not reach for it. He just went to the kitchen and poured water, like he did not care. That scared me more than a fight. The next night, Kara invited me to a rooftop bar with a few co-workers and their partners. She said I needed to get out. I told Ethan it was team bonding. He asked who would be there. I listed names, and I did not mention Noah. Noah came anyway. When I saw him, I felt a rush, like a secret that was alive. He asked if I was surprised. I said yes, but I also said it was fine. He said he wanted to make sure I was okay. Kara saw him and grinned like she was watching a show. She introduced Noah to everyone as the fun brother. Ethan arrived later because I told him to come if he wanted, but I acted like I didn't care. He walked in and saw me laughing with Noah. I watched him register the scene. He did not storm over. He did not grab my arm. He walked up calmly and greeted people. He asked how everyone was doing. He asked the bartender for a soda, not a drink, like he wanted a clear head. Kara started a game where people said honest thoughts about their partners. I knew what she was doing. She wanted to stir it. When my turn came, I said Ethan was stable but not exciting. I said it like a joke with a smile. People laughed. Noah laughed too, but softer, like he knew it was aimed. Ethan asked me, quietly, if I was done. I asked what he meant. He said he did not want to be laughed at. I told him nobody was laughing at him. They were laughing with us. He asked if I could stop talking about him like he was a problem. I said he should stop acting like one. On the way home, he asked why I kept doing this in public. I said because in private he never listened. He said he listened, but he could not compete with my friends and my jokes. I said he did not have to compete if he improved. He asked what improving meant. I said he should know. At home, I went to the bathroom and washed my face. From the hallway, I heard a soft beep, like a phone starting or stopping something. I stepped out and saw Ethan sitting at the table with his phone in his hand. He looked up and asked if I needed anything. I said no, and I tried to sound casual. I asked what he was doing. He said he was setting reminders, so he did not forget tasks. I walked into the kitchen and noticed the smell again, that faint toner smell, like a printer had been working. The printer tray had a single blank page sitting in it. Ethan came in, took the page, and tossed it in the recycling like it meant nothing. On the counter, a sticky note sat near the fruit bowl. It said, "Bring forms." There was no name, no details, just those two words. I asked Ethan what forms he needed. He said it was nothing, just work. I told him his work never needed forms at home. He said things changed. I asked if he was hiding something. He looked at me and said he was not the one hiding things. I felt heat rise in my face. I told myself he was accusing me without proof. I told myself he was trying to scare me. I told myself I was still in control. But when I went to bed and he stayed on the couch, facing away from the hallway, I lay there listening to the quiet and realized he had stopped chasing me. And for the first time, I wondered what he was doing instead. Janice called the next day and asked if we could come over for coffee. She said she wanted to see the kids. Her voice sounded polite, but it also sounded firm, like she had already decided something. Ethan agreed right away. He did not ask me if I wanted to go. He just said we would be there at 4. I told myself he was doing it to look good. I told myself I could still handle his mother. When we arrived, Janice hugged the kids first. She kissed Miles's head and asked him about school. She lifted Lila onto her hip like it was easy for her. Ron stayed near the window with his hands in his pockets. He nodded at Ethan and said hello to me, but his eyes did not warm. We sat in the living room. The couch felt stiff under me. Ethan sat at the edge of the chair, straight-backed, calm. Janice brought coffee and small cookies on a plate. She offered me one, and I took it because refusing would look bad. Janice asked if everything was okay at home. I smiled and said yes, we were just busy. Ethan said we had some stress like any family. Janice looked at him and asked if he felt respected. Ethan paused. He said he wanted peace, and he wanted the kids to feel safe. Janice then looked at me and asked if I loved her son. I said of course I did. I said I was just tired of being treated like a background person. Janice asked what Ethan did that hurt me. I said he ignored me. I said he acted like I was lucky to be chosen. Ethan asked what he had done that week to ignore me. I said he knew what he did, and I said I was not going to list everything like a lawyer. Ron cleared his throat. He said nobody wanted a fight here. He said the kids were watching. I said I was not fighting. I was explaining. Janice asked if Noah had been around us lately. I felt my stomach jump, but I kept my face steady. I said Noah was family. I said he visited because he liked the kids. Janice asked if I thought it was healthy for Noah to text me late. Ethan did not look at me. He looked at the carpet like he was choosing calm on purpose. I laughed and said the family was acting dramatic. I said men always wanted to control women's phones. Janice told me she did not want control. She wanted truth. I said truth was that Ethan had pushed me away. I said if Ethan wanted loyalty, he should act like he wanted me. Ethan finally looked up and asked if I was blaming him for my choices. I said I was blaming him for creating the problem. Janice's face tightened. She told me I was talking like a teenager, not a mother. Ethan stood up and said we should go. He said it was not a good time. He thanked Janice for the coffee and told Ron he would call later. He picked up Lila and told Miles to get his shoes. I expected a sharp word, but he stayed polite. That made me feel smaller, like my anger had nowhere to land. In the car, I told Ethan his parents were turning against me. Ethan said nobody turned anyone. People just reacted to what they saw. I said they only saw what he let them see. Ethan asked what I meant. I said he acted quiet and wounded on purpose. Ethan said he was tired of defending himself against stories. When we got home, Ethan did not follow me into our bedroom. He carried a pillow and a folded blanket to the guest room. Miles asked why Dad was sleeping there. Ethan said he needed better sleep to work well. I jumped in and told Miles Dad was being dramatic because he did not like honesty. Ethan did not argue. He just told Miles good night and closed the guest room door. That door closing felt loud. The next morning, I went to the kitchen and saw two mugs on the counter, placed far apart. Ethan's mug was near the sink. Mine was near the coffee machine. It looked like a small thing, but it made me feel like he was drawing lines. At work, I told Kara that Ethan's mother had interrogated me. Kara said older women hated younger women. I said Janice wanted to make me the villain because she could not accept her son was boring. Kara asked if Noah was still texting. I said yes, and I said it was harmless. Kara told me to keep screenshots, just in case. I asked why. Kara said men love to twist things. I nodded like she was wise. That afternoon I went to pick up the kids. The school pickup line was slow. Parents sat in their cars, windows down, talking in little circles. Ethan pulled in behind me. He usually picked up on his own when he could, but now he was there, even though I had not asked. He waved at Miles when Miles came out. Miles ran to Ethan's car first, not mine. I watched it happen. Ethan opened the door and asked Miles about his day. Miles smiled like he felt lighter near Ethan. That annoyed me in a way I did not want to name. A mother I knew, Shelby, leaned toward my window and asked if Ethan and I were okay. I said yes, and I said Ethan had been moody. Shelby said he looked calm. I said calm could be fake. I said calm could be a control trick. Shelby nodded slowly, like she did not fully agree, but she did not want to argue. At home, Ethan cooked again. He kept his phone face down. He answered only kid questions. When I asked him what he was doing about our marriage, he said he was focusing on what mattered. I said I mattered. He said the kids mattered too. After dinner, I walked past the guest room and heard a small click, like a lock. I stopped and listened. The sound came again, softer, like a drawer closing. I tried the guest room handle. It opened, but Ethan was standing in front of a dresser. He asked what I needed. I said I was looking for extra batteries. He said he would get them. I said I could do it myself. He said no, he would. His tone was calm, but it was firm. On his nightstand, I saw a new key on a ring. I asked what it was for. He said it was for storage. I asked what storage. He said just storage. I said that sounded secret. He told me not everything was about me. The next day, I went to Ethan's office building to drop off a lunch he forgot, mostly to see what he was doing. The lobby was busy, people moving fast with badges and bags. I took the elevator to his floor, and the doors opened into an open-plan office. Desks sat in rows. It smelled like coffee and printer paper. Ethan looked surprised to see me. He thanked me for the lunch, but he did not invite me to stay. A man named Ben, who I had met once, nodded at me and asked if I needed help finding the exit. It sounded polite, but it also sounded like a boundary. On Ethan's desk, I saw a simple folder stack labeled Household and Utilities. He moved a notebook over them fast. I asked what he was organizing. He said he was staying on top of life. I said life was not a project. He said it had to be now. When I got home, Ethan's laptop on the kitchen table made a soft sound, like a notification. I saw a message on the screen for half a second before it disappeared. File uploaded successfully. Ethan walked in and closed the laptop. He asked if I needed anything. I said no, and I tried to sound bored. That night, I texted Noah and asked if he could talk. He took longer than usual to answer. When he finally did, he asked if Ethan was acting strange. I said Ethan was acting like a robot. Noah said maybe Ethan knew. I told Noah not to be paranoid, but my hands were shaking as I typed. Ethan walked past me on the way to the guest room. He did not ask who I was texting. He did not ask where I had been. He did not demand anything. He just said goodnight to the kids, turned off the hall light, and shut his door. I told myself his silence was a trick. Still, I lay awake and listened for sounds from the guest room, and the quiet felt like something heavy moving into place. By the start of that week, I felt the house had two climates. The kids lived in one. Ethan lived in another. I lived in a third, where I was always explaining myself. Ethan stopped asking me questions. He stopped trying to fix my mood. He spoke to me only about the kids, the car, or dinner. When I tried to pull him into a fight, he did not step in. He stepped around it. I told myself he was punishing me with silence. I told myself he wanted me to beg. I promised myself I would not. Kara invited us to a dinner with 2 other couples from work. She said it would be good for normal life. I agreed because I wanted witnesses. I wanted a stage. I wanted Ethan to look like the problem in front of people who mattered. We met at a family restaurant with a long table and loud music. The lights were warm and soft. Everyone ordered drinks, but Ethan asked for water. Kara raised her eyebrows like it was a joke. Ethan did not smile at that. Kara asked how marriage was going. I answered fast. I said Ethan was doing his silent treatment thing again. I said he liked to act calm so nobody could blame him. One of the men asked what Ethan thought. Ethan said he was focused on the kids and work right now. I told them Ethan used work as a shield. Ethan asked what I wanted him to say in public. I said I wanted him to admit he had been distant. Ethan said he had been busy and tired, and he had also been trying not to fight in front of our children. I turned that into weakness. I said he always hid behind being the good guy. Kara laughed and said Ethan was too serious. I said Ethan could not handle a woman with standards. People laughed again. I watched Ethan's face, waiting for anger. He did not give me anger. He looked at his plate and took a slow breath. Then he asked the man across from him about sports, like he was leaving my words on the table. It felt like he was refusing to be my story. On the drive home, I told Ethan he embarrassed me by acting cold. He asked why I needed him to perform for my friends. I said I needed him to care how I looked. He said he cared, but he could not protect my image by letting me cut him down. I said I was not cutting him down. I said I was speaking truth. He asked what truth I was chasing, because every week it changed. At home, he did not go to our room. He went to the guest room again. I followed him and asked if he planned to live like that forever. He asked if I planned to keep disrespecting him forever. I said he was being dramatic. He said he was being careful. He said he would not argue with me when I was trying to bait him. I asked what bait meant. He said I liked to push until he reacted, and then I used the reaction as proof. I laughed and told him he sounded like a therapist. He said he did not need therapy to see patterns. That word, patterns, made my stomach tighten. The next day, I called Noah during my lunch break. He did not answer. I told myself he was busy. I texted him and asked if he was okay. He replied an hour later and said he had a shoot and bad signal. He asked if Ethan was still weird. I told him Ethan was acting like a robot. Noah said maybe Ethan was trying to stay calm. That annoyed me. Noah was supposed to be on my side. I asked Noah if he felt guilty. He said he did not want to talk about it at work hours. I said I was not at work. I was on break. He said he meant he did not want to talk in writing. That sounded like fear. I told myself Noah was weak. I told myself I was the one taking risks. That story made me feel bigger. That night, Ethan cooked again. He plated the kids' food first, then his, then mine. He did not ask if I wanted seconds. He did not ask if I liked it. He just did what needed doing. Miles asked if we could all sit together in the living room. Ethan said yes. We watched a cartoon. Lila fell asleep against Ethan's arm. Ethan stayed still so she would not wake up. The sight should have softened me. Instead, I felt replaced, not by another woman, by peace. When the kids were in bed, I told Ethan we needed to talk. He said we could talk, but he would not fight. I said he always refused to fight because he was scared of the truth. He asked what truth. I said the truth was he did not make me feel wanted. Ethan asked if I really believed that gave me permission to cross lines. I acted confused. I asked what lines. Ethan looked at me for a long second. Then he said he would not debate it. He said he was not going to beg me to be honest. He said he was going to focus on what he could control. I asked what he could control. He said his choices. He said his money. He said his time with the kids. He said his boundaries. The word boundaries made me angry. I said boundaries were what selfish people used. Ethan said boundaries were what safe people used. Over the next few days, small things changed. The online banking app asked me to re-enter passwords. A few bills switched to paperless notifications that went only to Ethan's email. I noticed because the reminders stopped showing on my phone. When I asked Ethan, he said he was just organizing. He said he did not want surprises. In the kitchen, I heard the shredder hum one night. It was a low, steady sound. I walked in fast, but he turned it off before I saw anything. I asked what he was shredding. He said old junk mail. I said we never owned a shredder before. He said we did, he just never used it. I checked the drawer under the printer and noticed a faint smell of toner again. The printer tray had no paper, but the top was warm like it had just worked. Ethan walked in behind me and asked if I needed to print something. I said no. I said I was just looking for scissors. He said he would get them, like he did not want me touching anything. Kara texted me that she had posted new photos from the dinner. In one of them, Ethan sat a little apart from me. Someone commented that he looked done. Kara replied that he was always like that. I liked that comment because it made him look wrong and me look patient. Ethan saw it too. He did not comment. He did not ask me to delete it. He did not demand anything. He simply stopped following Kara's page. That weekend, I took the kids with me to the supermarket. I wanted to feel normal. I wanted to prove I was the stable parent. Ethan stayed home and said he would clean. At the checkout, my card declined. The screen beeped and the cashier looked at me with that polite pity. I tried again. Declined. I felt heat in my face as people waited behind me. I used a different card and it worked, but I was shaking. In the car, I called Ethan. He answered on the first ring. I asked why my card declined. He said he did not know. He asked what card it was. I told him. He said he had moved some accounts to prevent confusion. I asked if he was punishing me. He said no. He was preventing problems. I said I was his wife, not a problem. He said he wanted everything to be clear now. When I got home, I found him on the stairwell landing, holding a small notebook and his phone. His phone alarm went off, and the label on the screen flashed for half a second. I only caught 2 words. Paper drop. I asked what that meant. He shut off the alarm and put the phone away. I asked if he was planning something. He looked at me, calm and tired at the same time. He said he was handling things properly. Then he walked past me, and for the first time, I believed he meant it. The community centre smelled like popcorn and cheap coffee. Miles had a small paper crown on his head from the school booth, and Lila held a sticker sheet like it was treasure. I stood near the folding chairs and tried to smile at other parents. My phone kept buzzing, and I kept telling myself it was just nerves. Ethan arrived on time, dressed plain, calm, and clean. He did not stand close to me. He stood close to the kids. A teacher waved at him and said something kind. He nodded and thanked her. I hated how normal he looked. I wanted him to look guilty. I wanted him to look like the man who caused all this. I walked up and asked if we could talk alone. He said we could talk later, and he asked me to keep the focus on the kids. I said he was using the kids as a shield. He said he was protecting them from adult problems. I told him he was acting like a saint. He said he was acting like a parent. Kara texted me that she was nearby and asked if I needed backup. I did not reply. My hands were already sweaty. After the event, Ethan said he needed to stop by an office tower for one quick thing. He asked me to bring the kids inside for a minute because it was warm and safe. I followed because I thought he was finally going to talk. I thought maybe I could still bend him back into my story. The lobby had security desks and shiny floors. People walked fast with badges. Ethan held Miles's hand and carried Lila on his hip like it was easy. I was about to start again, to say he was humiliating me with his silence, when a woman in a neat jacket stepped toward us. She asked if I was Alvina Roarke. I said yes. She asked me to confirm my address. I said she was being rude and asked who she was. She said she was there to serve legal documents. Ethan did not speak. He just watched, steady. The woman handed me an envelope. I saw the words before my brain wanted to read them. Divorce, temporary orders, parenting schedule. I laughed once, sharp and fake, and asked Ethan if he was really doing this in public. He said he was doing it properly. I skimmed and my throat went dry. The papers said Ethan had temporary primary physical custody starting immediately. They listed set pickup and drop-off times. They said he had temporary exclusive use of the home. They said I could not move money or create new debt. I looked at Noah's